I had a hard time categorizing this question, and that just is the nature of the SAT. Not everything fits neatly into a box. I called this a no line reference question. And my reason is that even though this kind of seems like it's about things that are all over the passage, it really seems focused on this last paragraph. There's a lot of ideas that kind of come in there. And specifically the question is talking about, a hypothetical discovery supporting the impact of the meteor, the asteroid. And so look at the paragraph. The new evidence comes in the form of geochemical analysis. So that plus the fact that for this question, number 43, the answer was B. And so using the chronology rule, we would expect the answer to 44 to be kind of after 15 to 17. And this is not a long passage. So again, adapt when things are not really perfectly by the rules that I use in these videos. This is a short passage, and you could easily read this passage before you do these questions instead of following the no reading strategy. You can adapt. That's the best part of the no reading strategy. You can always read more. So in this case, though, we also have this word hypothetical, meaning that the question is going to introduce information that is not mentioned in the passage. That's okay. That happens sometimes in these science passages, and we just need to deal with it. But the ideas will be in the lines. And so it's not about the specifics per se, but the general summary, the general idea is what we need to pay attention to, because we should be able to support that with the passage. So let's take a look at these answer choice. I'll just assume you've read the entire passage at this point, and we'll go to different parts that are relevant. So choice A. An asteroid impact crater beneath the northern ice cap contains high levels of iridium and has been dated to well after the start of the Younger Dryas. So there's two parts of this choice. The first part seems totally good, right? They want evidence of a meteor impact. Well, a crater would probably be good evidence. And they do talk about the iridium somewhere, right here, line 30. And they do say that iridium if it's in levels that are high enough, it means that it couldn't be from Earth. It has to be from an asteroid. And so those high levels of iridium would support that. But the timing is wrong. The second part is wrong. It's been dated to well after the start of the Younger Dryas. Look for that phrase. It's right here, line 17. They're calling that this change in climate that led to all these outcomes, the death of the animals, the end of the Clovis hunters, all these things. So what's happening is in the impact hypothesis, they're saying that all of this would be caused and explained by the asteroid impact. So if the impact happened after the climate stuff, then that's not supporting the idea that the asteroid caused the climate stuff. It has to be asteroid then climate change, not the other way around. So this timing is off. And so it may seem like a small point, but that's everything. And that's how the SAT works with these hard questions. Let's look at B. Glass and carbon spherules appear at multiple points in the geologic record, but never in conjunction with iridium deposits. Well, again, they talk about those here. The spherules, or I don't even know how to say that. That's a weird word. Well, why would it, if they appeared at multiple points, then why would that support the hypothesis about this one specific point in time having the spherules? Like, it seems like if they happen all the time, then what's the big deal? Then it could just be that the spherules are because there's always spherules. I don't know. So this is undermining the main point by saying that one of the pieces of evidence for the asteroid doesn't matter because there's always these spherules everywhere. So that's wrong. C, analysis of ice cores suggests that global temperatures started declining approximately 13,000 years before the onset of the Younger Dryas. Well, this is the opposite problem of choice A, right? It's shifting the time. We want all these things to happen at once, right? The climate change, the disappearance of the Clovis people, the disappearance of the animals. All of those things have to be caused by the asteroid. If they're happening at different times, then they're different things. They're not the same event. So that leaves us hopefully with D. And here's why I said before, they're not always going to stick to the stuff in the passage. This idea of osmium, I don't remember reading that anywhere. So this is a new element that they're adding in. And normally if there's something that's not mentioned in the passage, we would say that that's bad. But here it's okay because we're told from the outset that these are hypothetical things. These are not going to be mentioned in the passage necessarily, but the ideas should be. So what's the idea? The high level of osmium, which is rare on Earth but relatively common in asteroids, are observed in the geologic record from approximately 13,000 years ago. What happened 13,000 years ago? Well, 13,000 years ago, there was an asteroid or comet that exploded above the northern ice cap, causing all these terrible things. So the timing is right, and they're saying that it's caused by an asteroid, and osmium is kind of filling in here for iridium, which they said is related to asteroids as well. So this concept of an element showing up at the right time in the right at the right levels for an asteroid, that idea is there. They switched the element on us because it's a new discovery, but it's the same evidence that was stated in the passage, just a new way of presenting it. That's all. That is a confusing question. There's a lot of weird stuff going on here. These are some of those questions on the SAT where like they purposely are kind of changing the rules a little bit to really make you fight for those last few points. This is what I would consider like a 700 level reading question. So if you're struggling with this, that's okay. I mean, it's a hard question, but you want to kind of really be prepared to deal with this if you're shooting for that really top score. It's difficult, but it's doable. I would have been very, very confident in all of my reasoning here if I saw this question on a test, and would have been very confident in choice D because I showed my work and thought about it and kind of know what to expect on the test.